Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all. Today, my group are going to present um, about interpersonal communication competencies. So, starting with our group members, which is Fatin Fatia binti Rasti, me, myself, Anis Nadira binti Majid, and Rosita Wati binti Muhammad, Nurin Kashrina binti Hazran, and Numiza binti Abdul Razak, Nurin Fajlin Adlina binti Awan Farid, and the last one is Izatu Husna binti Azman. So we are going to show you the contents of our presentation today, which is starting with introduction, the importance of interpersonal communication competencies, and the result surveys, the way in strengthening students' interpersonal communication competence, the development strategy of students' interpersonal communication competence, and the last one is uh, the conclusion of our presentation. So now the presenter are going to start with introduction.
Introduction. Effective communication is a building block of successful organization. In other words, communication acts as organizational blood. All managers and employees need to be aware of how people behave in order to provide the best working environment. Organizational behavior is about how people may be motivated to work together in more effective ways. The interaction required to direct a group toward a set of common goals is called organizational communication. In each of these interactions, we are occasionally satisfied but sometimes frustrated by incompetence, insensitivity, lack of coordination, and red tape, all of which result from ineffective organizational communication. A deeper understanding of communication permits us to better comprehend the factors that contribute to a successful organization. Communication promotes motivation by informing and clarifying the employees about the task to be done, the manner they are performing the task, and how to improve their performance if it is not up to the mark. Communication is a source of information to the organizational members for decision-making process as it helps identifying and assessing alternative course of action. Communication also plays a crucial role in altering individual attitudes. For example, a well-informed individual will have better attitude than a less informed individual. Organizational magazine, journals, meetings, and various other forms of oral and written communication help in molding employees' attitude. Communication also helps in socializing. One cannot survive without communication.
Okay, I will share with you about the importance of competency in interpersonal communications. So, why do an individuals need interpersonal communications? So, firstly, it will help to recognize their own self better. Uh, individual uh, Individual could focus more on their strengths and improve their weaknesses. Knowing their own self better will help them to boost their confidence when they interact with strangers. Second, it is an important aspect in building relationships and form intimacy between the society, especially in a workplace where people are usually works in groups. They need to have a good relationships and trust between the colleague to help their produce good qualities of works. Moreover, competency in interpersonal communications is one of the characteristics needed to become a good leader or employers. As employer, they are responsible to create cultures in their companies, whether it's a good or a negative environment. A positive company cultures will help to increase the productivities of the employees and reduce the stress in the workplace of the employees. Other than that, it could influence and control people's attitude and behavior. By having a good competency in interpersonal communications, uh, peoples will have an good impressions to us when we are talking to them. They will choose whether they want to listen and answers to our conversations or not. They will choose how they want to react to our conversations. Therefore, we are indirectly control their attitudes and behaviors. And finally, competency in interpersonal communications will benefit in individuals in the jobs interview. Especially nowadays, employers and company are looking for employees that could that possess a good soft skills, because they want the employee to to have an ability to build um, a good positive relationship with other employees and could collaborate and also could converse effectively with the other employees and customers.
Okay, so based on this pie chart, there are two categories that record involving in uniform bodies or college social activities. The first category is female, which has the highest percent, which is 60%, and second category is female with 40%. Then next is this is a pie chart that show the record of students that involved in any uniform bodies. We can look at there are 75% percent in purple color. They are active in uniform bodies or college social activities. Another 50% of students say they are not involved in any social activities. And lastly, 10% of students is other, means that they are not involved in any social activities.
Okay, this is the bar chart. UTAM students record involving in uniform bodies or college social activities. So we took like 4 example of the survey, which is saya membenarkan rakan-rakan melihat diri saya yang sebenar. So the purple bar shows that 30% of students in that thing. So, for instance, membenarkan rakan-rakan melihat diri mereka yang and then the blue show that students active in uh, uniform bodies or college social activities. So, and the yellow one show that the students that keep their involvement in college uniform bodies or college social activities as a secret. The second survey is orang lain tahu apa yang saya fikirkan. For the active students, there's 12% of the students that let their friends or other people around them know about what they thinking. But for students that not active in bodies in uniform bodies at college, they usually do not know what are people around them thinking. And the third one is saya tidak mempunyai masalah mempertahankan diri sendiri. For students that are active in uniform bodies in college, they always defend themselves to provide their ideas in like a group presentation or whatsoever. They choose to stand with decisions to make other people agree with them with their decisions. And for not active students, it shows that 3% of the students usually just let other people make a decision on themselves. And the last one, we took a survey that said, saya selalunya tahu apa perasaan orang. It means uh, for persons or students that active in uniform bodies at they usually have lots of friends and meet so many people, lots of people. So they know how to recognize the people attitudes and behavior. So usually the students that active in college, they know uh, about other people's feeling. So this is the highest percentage that it shows in this chart, which is 50% of the students that active in college usually know about other people's feelings and know how to deal with um, the people around them.
Okay. Here is the suggestion or ways in strengthening students' interpersonal communication skill. First of all, to be a confident student or they can communicate to others, they must be a good listener. When a good listener listen beyond the words being spoken, and it make people understand the message being communicated. During conversation, a lot of time the listener thinking about how they going to respond rather than concentrating on the speakers is saying. So the next is avoid interrupting. Interrupting once the person speaking is the respectful thing. If it is necessary to make interruption, then make a gentle interruption. For an example, ask for the person which is, sorry, can I quickly add something, or sorry, can I interrupt something? Next is mindful of body language. Other party will look up or on our body language. Some of our body language might sending negative communication signals such as hunched shoulder, hands inside the pocket, and folded arm might seem like we are not open to others' person idea, or pointing your finger may look accusatory or defensive. For the next one is practice empathy. To be empathetic means that we are able to identify and understand others' emotions, such as imagining ourselves in someone else's position. To develop empathy, understanding how people feel will help to communicate your thought and idea in a way that makes sense to others, and it will help us to understand others when they are communication. Then self-aware. Self-aware is also the way of strengthening communication competencies. Self-aware also is the abilities to accurately recognize our emotions, strengths, limitation, and action, and understand how this affects others surrounding us. So, by developing this skill, we will able to act more thoughtfully. The next one is avoid to finish other sentence. Sometimes certain people might think that finishing other sentence is helpful or that it show you understanding. However, others might think that when you are interrupt, you are not listening with their speak. And the last one is respect others and thought and respect other thoughts and option and opinion. So even we disagree with someone else saying, we should courtesy of letting them speak before respectful expressing our opinion. Even both of us or both of party is not agree with the discussion, just just understand for the point only. So that is my view, my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, here is the development strategy of students' interpersonal communication competence. Okay, students should start to develop their interpersonal skill for improving their communication skill before they step into the realm of work. First of all is having a positive attitude by portraying it, such as being cheerful and smiling when communicating to others. It's shown that you showing a respect for the ones that you communicate with by greeting people cheerfully and appreciating their work of our teammate works also considered as a positive attitude. Next is learn easy ways to problem solving. The best way for solving the problem is thinking of the ways to resolve the problem as it reduces the time and you can solve it much effectively. Once you can done evaluating the ways to solve the problem, you must proceed further and apply all the solution to the problem to solve it. Okay, next is start taking responsibilities. Start taking responsibilities and accountability is also one of our vital skills that students must develop for their interpersonal communication. This is very important point of being accountable is that it helps in reducing tension or stress and conflicts between teammates. Next, learn some managing tactics. Learn some managing tactics for every aspect in our daily life because management is the very important attribute of the teamwork environment and also culture. Learn to control your frustration and emotion effectively. Once you have mastered the art of self-management, you may learn to hide all the negative aspects very easily. Next is appreciate more and less complain. It is important to develop this interpersonal skill because as we always thank your teammates for whatever that they help and smile often to them, it will make people love to associate and discuss stuff with a cheerful person like us. Okay, next is master good communication skill. By mastering the good communication skill, and it actually the most important aspect of interpersonal skill that we will convey our message effectively without creating any conflict in the best manner possible will do the job. Okay, lastly is develop social and general awareness about things. When you are in a hurry to get success or full mark in your project or assignment, you may tend to avoid people and which are very negative. Hence, to develop this awareness, please don't ignore the other attributes of knowing more than what you should know and try to learn from every activity and social things happening around you to enhance your productivity. That's all for me.
Okay, we proceed to the last part, which is the conclusion of the task we did about interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is the most important skill for every individual to compete in achieving success. This ability to communicate is recognized as essential for professional success. This interpersonal communication can occur between two independent people or more.